Coming to you live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California, and all across the world, psychic, medium, and energetic healer Sheena Metal brings you messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network.
Hi, and welcome to Messages from Spirit, only on the Intuitive Network. I'm your host, Sheena Metal, and you can find me at sheenametalspiritual.com. I'm a real psychic, and every week on the show, there are real people, and we're having real conversations, and I'm getting real messages from Spirit to hopefully provide some real answers and some real healing for the folks on the show. I never know what anybody's going to ask. People say to me, can I run my question by you? And I always say, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what you're going to ask. And you can ask anything. That's the rule is there are no rules. You can ask anything. If you would like to be a guest on this show, send me a text message. It's 818-437-0886. And if you want to send me a message internationally, I use WhatsApp, and it's 1, which is my country code, 818-437-0886. I love having you all here. I'm loving the show, loving being a part of the Intuitive Network family. And every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, you will find us here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about choosing you. You know, we live in a world where we worry so much about what others think of us. And sometimes we build our own spiritual, emotional, intellectual, physical identities based on what other people have told us about us. You're not smart enough. You're not tall enough. You're not thin enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not sexy enough. You're not successful enough. You're not rich enough. None of these things matter to Spirit. And all the time I've been getting messages from Spirit, which is pretty much my whole life. Spirit has never said to me, hey, that person's too fat, or hey, that person needs to make more money. Of course, Spirit is concerned that we are prosperous, pay our bills, have great relationships, move down our spiritual path, learn our life lessons. But it's never about, gee, I wish that person had a better car, or, oh, you don't get into heaven unless you make so much money. Those are earthbound concepts. And it's so important in life that we learn to separate what is an earthbound concept from what's a spiritual concept. The number one message that I get from Spirit: choose you. Self-love is not selfish. Self-love is the opposite of selfish. It's like the flight attendant says, right? When the oxygen masks drop, you put yours on first, and then you can help to save the plane. And a lot of times folks, especially folks that are empaths, wind up suffocating because we never put our oxygen mask on. We're slowly losing. Well, we're trying to save everybody else, and then we wind up dying and everyone else lives, metaphorically and sometimes literally. So it's super important that you remember that if you want to make a difference in the world, if you want to be a person that helps others, a person of service, a person who lives your passion and helps to enable others to live their passions, then the best way you can do that is put you first. Make sure your needs are met. And then you have all this time to help others meet their needs. But I think sometimes those of us that are empaths, we have this fear of choosing us because we somehow think that makes us narcissistic or self-involved or myopic. But the truth is, it's not. You have to choose you, because you're here on this earth walking your spiritual path with the help of Spirit and your universal team. But the number one most important thing you're here to do is overcome your obstacles, learn your lessons, use your strengths to make the world a better place. And you can't do that to your full potential if you don't choose you. And that's why it's so important. And I bet that's going to be a running theme today, because it's weird how the spirit world works. When I bring something up at the beginning of a show, it tends to become part of the running theme of the show, which is weird because most of the folks that are going to be on the show aren't even in the green room right now and can't even hear what I'm saying. Choose you is what I'm saying. All right. It's so important that you choose you. And with that, I would love to give a message from spirit to someone. Hi.
Hi, I'm Summer. I am from Portage, Wisconsin. And my question for you today would be, what would Spirit have in store for me in regards to my abilities that I've had since I was really young? Maybe guidance or any messages that are helpful.
Absolutely, Summer, and welcome.
Thank you.
Was there a time when you were younger when your gifts were more you were more engaged with them and then you shut them down for a while? Because that's what Spirit's showing me, that you almost feared your gifts a little bit. So you shut them down for a while. They were overwhelming. They were confusing. Summer, you're a great, huge, super empath. And I see that there was a lot of overwhelm from all the things that you were feeling, messages that you were getting from other human beings and also from Spirit became too much. So you just sort of shut it down. But the thing about shutting your gifts down, Summer, as I'm sure you know, is that Spirit kind of starts coming back at you, right? Like starts poking and prodding you to start opening up your gifts again, because those are important tools that the world needs. Your gifts are needed by the universe to help make the world a better place. So the first thing you need to do, sweetie, is, well, choose you. As I said earlier, you need to get in touch with your empathy and learn how to control it, because the more gifts that you open up, the more that you're going to have more energetic input coming in, and you need to learn how to filter that out and to let go of what you don't need, so you don't have everybody's isms so viscerally inside your being. Because as your gifts grow, and when you open them up, they're going to really grow, and you're going to realize you have many spiritual gifts. You need to make sure you can handle all the input that's coming in, and that's been a problem in the past, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. Definitely.
What is the hardest thing for you about being an empath? What energetic input that comes in is the hardest for you to deal with?
I think the hardest for me is, so I've always known that I've had abilities, but like you said, I kind of shut them down. And then just recently, I guess self-doubt is really what's gotten in the way. People doubting me, my own self-doubt. But then I've proven myself wrong so many times and just blew my own self away. I'm like, this just can't be unless I had, gifts. So,
right.
Yeah, it's just, black and
white.
white.
Well, that's part of the choosing you that I was talking about, right? People are always going to naysay. People are always going to tell you what you have isn't that special, because secretly everybody wishes they had those gifts. And the truth is, the time that they're spending naysaying others, they could be spending working on their own gifts, but instead they'd rather just sit around and say, oh, gifts aren't real and summer's full of crap. And so you need to really stop listening to people. And that filters over into everything in your life, your relationships with people, doubts you have about yourself, doubts you have about your career. A number one rule for you all around that would be fantastic, sweetheart, is that you just need to start believing in you more and choosing you more. And when you do that, you're going to find that your gifts open up a lot, because Spirit's just making sure that you're ready and you can handle the gifts when they come flooding in. And so I'd like you to practice something as an exercise for your empathy. I'd like you to practice almost like you've put a screen over the channel where information comes in. So you're letting some info in, but it doesn't all need to come in, right? A screen's on the door so the fresh air comes in and the bugs stay out. And then also just letting go of stuff that you don't need. If something comes in and it's a lot off of a person and you realize you don't need it, just imagine yourself flushing it out, like in one ear and out the other, as they say, right? It's coming in and you're letting that go, because you're not expected to hold on to everything that you feel from everyone, right?
Yeah, that's definitely right.
You're going to be okay, sweetie. Your gifts are mighty, and I'm honored that you're here with me today. I always say thank you to the person who goes first, because I know it's hard to go first. And I wish you the best of luck. Let me know how it's going, okay?
Yep, I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Now, a lot of the things that I said to Summer, right? That's a lot of the things that a lot of you that are watching that have gifts are dealing with. And Summer is a typical example of somebody who had a lot of gifts as a kid, and then she shut the gifts off because society told her. She literally got socialized and culturalized out of her gifts. Now spirits come back like, hey, Summer, knock, knock. Where's your gifts? Remember your gifts? Remember your gifts? And so now she's trying to open up again as an adult. And then, of course, all those doubts come in, right? But like we talked about earlier, all those doubts, that's all earth plane stuff. That's not coming from spirit. That's coming from your monkey brain, your lizard brain, other people's imprinting on you. Just keep that in mind and remember that you have to make a pure connection with spirit, and everything has to be about your connection with spirit and not about listening to what other people tell you, right? You don't need other people to get in the way of your relationship with higher power. So speaking of spirit, I'd love to give a message from spirit. Who needs one?
Hi, Sheena.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Jenny, and I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hi, Jenny.
And I wanted to tell you, I have learned so much from just watching this show so far.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you. I'm so
It's
happy to
really
have
fun.
you here today, representing
And
Cincinnati and being here.
and my question is, it doesn't really have anything to do with your topic, but I am planning on moving, and I'm almost ready to put my house on the market. And I raised my family here. I've had well, 6 years ago my husband passed, and my son passed about 3 years ago. So it's kind of time. It's time, and I felt it very strongly for me to move on and start a new journey. But I'm getting a lot with the economy the way it is. A lot of my friends keep saying I'm making a big mistake. I'm never going to find anything. And the problem I have is I can't really buy a house until I sell this one. So my
Sure.
question is, does spirit have any advice? Am I doing the right thing and getting, I feel like it's now, but
Yeah,
I need some help.
I feel like it's now too. And I think this is 100%, interestingly enough, what I was talking about earlier is everyone's trying to tell you what you know is wrong. You know, now is the time for you energetically to let this house go. You love the house. You say I love you to the house, but it's time for the house to go, and it's time for you to move into a new phase in your life. Sadly, without your husband and without your son, this is another phase for you on your path. Don't let other people tell you, oh, it's never going to happen. The economy's bad. You have to remember, you're selling a house and you're buying a house in the same area pretty much. So it's not like you're selling a house in Montana and trying to buy a house in Manhattan. You know what I mean? There's no reason why you won't be able to find a house when you sell your house. It's just that people like to always have an opinion, and people like to tell you how they know everything and you know nothing. And sometimes, most of the time, they're very well meaning in that. But that's not for them to say. You have to let the light of spirit in your solar plexus guide you, because you know what's right, sweetie. You know what the right thing is. And you can't let anybody deter you from that. And you have to, like what my mama used to say, put your faith in the hands of the gods. You have to say, I know there's a house for me that's beautiful. And I know this house is going to sell for a decent amount of money. And I'm going to be able to make that switch, and it's going to be wonderful. And that's everything spirit is showing me, that you have nothing to worry about, right? You just have to worry about your own fear and your own worries that you're not doing it right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And you're going to be
That's
great.
really
Thank you.
cool.
We're all rooting for you. I'm sending you some good juju, and it's going to be okay, sweetie.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Jenny. It's a pleasure to have you here. You're wonderful.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. And you can't listen to others. Everybody's got an opinion. That's terrible. Don't do that. Don't take that job. Don't date that person. Don't adopt that dog. Don't sell your house. These people got to worry about their own lives. Clean up your own backyard, people, before you have all kinds of opinions about my life. You know who knows what you should be doing? Spirit. and I'm pointing at the moon. I know that's not where spirit is, but I have a limited camera here, and if I put my arms up big, you can't see what I'm doing. Listen to spirit, because spirit knows what is right for you, right? Spirit knows. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, look at these great people that we have. Just simply send me a text message, 818-437-0886, and please visit me at sheenametalspiritual.com. And of course, I'm everywhere on social media at Sheena Metal. And we're here every Wednesday at 2 o'clock Pacific time, right here only on the Intuitive Network, that you can get on your Apple TV, your Roku, your Amazon Fire Stick, on any of your Apple iPhone devices, on any of your Android devices. You can watch us on a tiny phone. You can watch on your iWatch. I mean, little tiny sheet ahead, or you can watch on your giant 70-inch TV screen, where probably nobody should see me on a screen that big, but I'm doing it. So I'd love to give someone another message from Spirit. I'm so glad you're all here, and thank you for your support of this show. Hi.
Hi, Sheena. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, sweetie?
I'm great.
That's awesome. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Oh my God. Oh, of course. I'm Tammy, and I'm calling from Montana.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Isn't that nice?
So my question for you, or for Spirit, I just finished my master's degree.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be done. And I am going to be embarking on a new career path as a therapist. And I just kind of wanted to know what Spirit would have to say about how I should use my own gifts and abilities in that capacity. And what should I do as a form of protection so I'm not taking on all the stuff that I experience on a daily basis with my job?
Right. It's hard. You will get used to it. The more you get used to it, the more it will become easier. But first of all, therapist is exactly what you should be doing, because my mom used to say that everything that happened in her life, and my mom was a therapist, everything that happened in her life made her stronger, but it also made her softer. And your energy is the same way. You haven't just become hardened by things that have happened to you. You've also become softer, and you're willing to share that strength and that softness with other people to help heal them. And that's exactly where you belong. The only thing Spirit was saying in the beginning, which is funny because that's where you said it, was make sure she protects. And the first question you asked about how are you going to use your own spiritual gifts in your practice, the first thing Spirit said was all the time. You're going to use them all the time. I mean, I understand when you're a therapist, and I am not a licensed therapist, that there are legal things you can't do because of your licensure. I don't have that. I can tell people I love them and hug them and, you know, do whatever I want, but because I'm a minister basically. But you're going to be using your gifts with every single client, sweetheart. Every single day, you're going to be tapping into people and helping to heal them, not just with all the psychological knowledge that you've amassed in school, but also with the empathic and intuitive gifts that you know reside inside of you. And there's not really going to be a difference between what's psychological and what's spiritual. Just as you help people, you're just going to be toggling back and forth between the two the entire time, right? I would suggest for protection a couple of things. I'm a big fan of the white light protection prayer. You ask for protection from the white light. I'm asking for protection from the white light. White light, please protect me from anything that doesn't have my better good at heart or that might overwhelm me. And that just sort of puts you in a little bubble of light so that so much can't get through. A lot of it just bounces off and goes away. I also think you should get an amulet with some kind of crystal that really resonates with you and put it right over your solar plexus chakra, because that's where we take in all the stuff from humans. It's why so many empaths and psychics have problems with their stomach and their digestive tract, because that's all where it comes right in there. I would definitely do that. And you know what? I think I'd sage the office. I mean, maybe not a gigantic smudging every time so people fire you, but I would get a little something incense, a little sage, little Nag Champa. I like a sage, Nag Champa, and dragon's blood. And just, every one little stick. You use like a quarter of a stick, just wave it around just to clear the air out a little bit. And that'll be nice for your clients too, because when they come in, they'll feel like clearing is coming off of them before they even start talking to you. But basically what Spirit wants you to know is every hour that you've spent in school was worth it, because you're a rock star and you're going to rock this, and doing this every day of your life is going to change you, and it's going to heal you in ways you never thought you could be healed.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really
You're in
appreciate
good
that.
shape. I love
Thank
you.
you.
If I can say
Love
I
you
love
too.
you to people. You take care, honey. We're so
Thank
proud
you.
of you. I'm proud
Thank
of you.
you.
Spirit's proud of you. This is great. How wonderful was that? Somebody with gifts is going to use their gifts to help other people every day, because that's what we're here for. We're given gifts and strengths and talents to be able to use those things to make the world a better place. And the best way to make the world a better place is to heal people. So, wow, that's great. I don't even know what to say. Make sure to find us on the Intuitive Network. We're here only there. So the only way that you can find us is to go to your streaming device, download Intuitive Network. It's totally free. We have 1 million unique subscribers there, which is amazing. So you're joining a great people, and there's wonderful content there. Movies, television shows, music videos, podcasts, talk shows, all kinds of stuff. Go and check all of that out, especially their original programming, because we're so proud of that. And then every Wednesday at 2:00, we're here live, and then it archives forever. So please go back and watch our earlier shows and enjoy, because you know what I do here every week? I give messages from Spirit, and I'm going to give one right now because I love that. Hi.
Hi, Sheena. This is Christina from Texas. I'm in Central Texas.
Awesome. Where are you at in Central Texas, sweetie?
I'm in Schertz. So it's a little town between San Antonio and Austin.
Beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
And what's your question for me today, hon?
Well, first, I wanted to say that your opening discussion about empaths was spot on with me, I believe. And I actually had a conversation this morning with a friend of mine who said to me that I am to a fault empathetic and giving.
Yes.
So
It's
being
hard,
said,
yeah.
it is hard. So my question to you is that if not my situation right now, does Spirit see a partner in my life, or am I just destined to kind of walk this journey on my own? The reason why I ask that is because it has not thus happened.
Right. Yes. Yes. It's funny because all empaths, we all believe that maybe we're destined to walk this earth alone. And
Yeah.
we're really not, but there's a couple things. First of all, when you're a person who's really tuned into yourself and really tuned into Spirit, Christina, it's hard to find a human that can meet you at that level, because a lot of people just float through earth dealing with earthbound stuff, and they don't like do I have enough money to go to Cabo is like what they're worried about, and not the pulse of the universe as we're worried about. So you're going to have to find somebody who's really deep and has done a lot of spiritual work on themselves, but that will happen, and it looks like it will happen. You'll really get rolling before the end of next year. So it's not anything you should worry isn't happening. But the other thing is that for folks that are in spiritual service, and there are ways to be in service other than being an empath, and I consider earthbound service to be spiritual service. If you're a doctor or a teacher, a healer, or a therapist like Tammy was, it's you almost have two lives, because you have to go through your normal life and deal with all your normal human stuff that we all have to deal with. But then you also have your life as a healer where you're helping other people. So
Yes.
It's kind of like double duty. It's like working 2 full-time jobs.
It
And
is.
sometimes it can feel like it's a lot. Like other people just get to go to the sports bar and, do a shot, watch a game and chill.
Exactly.
but
Yes.
you're like healing 4 people at the bar,
Yes.
and you're helping, you're dealing with the
Exactly.
bartender's love life problems. And so we're
Yeah.
always kind of on duty, and I can tell that you do really well with that for the most part. But there are times where you're just like, God, could I just go somewhere and
Yeah.
not have somebody come up to me and tell me all their problems for 5 minutes?
I get that all the time, and I love it. I felt ever since a little girl that was meant for me, but I'll get strangers telling me everything, and I will just have and can afford really good advice for them out of nowhere. When often
Yes.
I don't follow it for myself, but I do believe that is a gift and it is a full-time job. You're right.
It is. So you have to learn to think of it as a good thing, like a
Okay.
full-time hobby. Like my mom was my mom was also a psychic medium, but my mom loved to embroider. And every minute that woman wasn't doing something with her hands, she was stitching, and
Oh,
she loved it. So you have to kind of think of it like that. It's another thing that I do that I love. I mean, you have your earth life and you have your spirit life, and yours is very prominent. And sometimes it's tiring. And when it is, make sure you sleep, make sure you hydrate, make sure you eat right.
okay.
Make sure you laugh a lot.
Okay.
Make sure sometimes you turn the TV on and just let something talk to you. You don't have to always be talking all the time, and give
Okay.
yourself a break to recharge. But yeah, the more that you're using this gift, sweetie, so this has been a running theme today on the show, right? The
Yeah.
more you're using this gift, the more other more people are going to come for help. So just know where to set your limits. Like I told Tammy, the last person who came to us, do your white light protection prayers and protect your solar plexus chakra, and wear a nice crystal that you love that vibrates and gives you a lot of energy. And then just choose you. Make sure you got to take care of you first, and then go heal the world. You're on the right path and you're doing great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. You take care
Bless
of you.
you as well. Thank you.
Yeah, right? There's always a theme. Every single time there's a theme. And this time it's really people getting on their path, right? And wanting to know what to choose. And it's very exciting. Um, I love this. This was my dream show. This was the show I always wanted to do. And when Intuitive approached me about putting a show together for them, I said, how about this one? Because this is the one I always wanted to do, where I just worked with real people every week and I just healed people. Well, spirit heals people, but I'm just the radio that the messages come through. I love to see the look on people's faces when the light bulb goes off and they're like, oh, you know what? I'm on the right path. I am doing the right thing. I am okay. I'm just a little confused because it's all a lot. And that's okay for it to be a lot. It's connecting with spirit. It's supposed to be a lot. So you're doing great. All of you are doing great. And I am ready to give a message from spirit. Who has one for me?
Hi,
Hi.
Sheena. I'm
Hi.
Lauren. I am from Centerton, Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas.
Beautiful.
Continuing with the path that we're on, I too am an empath, and I too am in school to become a therapist.
Yay!
This is so crazy.
Good. The
Okay,
world needs more empathic therapists.
man, it's a grind, is what it
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah.
okay, I've been mulling over questions for 24 hours trying to decide what I was going to ask you, and the one that I keep coming to is just more joy and fulfillment in my life. We moved here 2 years ago. I left a life in an area that I absolutely loved, a daughter who is still in a faraway state. And I just feel like I have been kind of just going with the flow since then, like not really living, not
Right.
being excited about things. And I'm just wondering if spirit has a message for me about how to kind of pull myself out of that and get back to living.
Sure. Well, first of all, this is temporary. You're not going to be in this place forever. So know there's a light at the end of the tunnel. But also know that you are needed in this space right now for this part of your healing and to heal others. So you're in the right place. And honestly, going to school to do something, you could really be any place. So think of it as this is your time for school. This is your training time.
Yeah.
This is your time to get ready to launch into the world and help other people. And like, you're going to be so good at it. I mean, it's what you've done your whole life. Now you're just going to really do it.
It's the only thing I was willing to go back to school for. I entered therapy a couple of years ago, and it's like a light bulb. Like, this is what I'm meant to do. And I've never felt that way about anything.
Yes. Yes. Isn't that beautiful? Yes.
Yeah.
And you're really feeling it too, right? Like, you're really
Yeah.
doing well with it.
Yeah.
You need to just not put so much pressure on yourself, sweetheart. You need to know that this is a time that you're just supposed to sit, like when you see the chakras in a painting and somebody's sitting in the yoga position. You need to be in your yoga position right now, just allowing all the information that's coming in to sort of fill your chakras and fill your spiritual self. And then one thing that Spirit really wants you to work on, because you've always been so empathic, is that everything that you're learning about psychology, Spirit wants you to see how the science of psychology and the practicality of spirituality are the same. So that when you're learning about somebody who has a particular disorder or ism or problem, you're also thinking of the spiritual solution. So that, like I said earlier to Tammy, when you're giving the help, you're giving the psychological help, but on the down low, you're giving the spiritual help. Because one of the main reasons that empaths like you and like Tammy and like my mom were chosen to do the work that they do is so that people can get the spiritual healing and enlightenment they need at the same time they get the psychological, intellectual, emotional help that they need. Because we are split in two, right? We're a spiritual person and we're we're an earthbound person, and we need to have both of our lives need help at the same time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really cool. Do you still see me? I've asked you this before on a live. You told me one time that I would work with teens, which was
Definitely.
very far from what I assumed. But it's funny, I talked to my daughter today and I was telling her about that, and she said, that's exactly what I thought you would do.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I got chills.
Oh yeah. You know why? Because they're so trying to figure themselves out emotionally, and at the same time, they're totally on their little spiritual path. They're trying to figure out their spirituality at the same time. And even those that are from very strict religions, and you will get that where you are, they also on the inside are trying to figure out what that looks like to them. A lot of people want to be very much a thing, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, whatever it is, but they also have other things that they think about and that they feel, and they want to know that's okay. Just the same way that you can be a normal person who sometimes gets depressed. They're these teenagers, and they just want to know everything's okay inside of them. And you're going to be so great because you have such a nurturing energy. Your sacral chakra is so beautiful, and you have such a nurturing energy, and you're going to be so great with these folks.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you, and I'm wishing you all the best.
Oh, thank you, Sheena.
Take care, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Isn't this great? We got therapists today. We got people on new life paths, people developing their gifts. It's just always so much fun here every week. If you want to be a guest on this show, send me a text message, 818-437-0886. And if you are an international outside of the US and Canada, then just that same number, throw a 1 in front of it, and find me on WhatsApp. And of course, visit my website, which is sheenametalspiritual.com. And I would love if you would follow my social media at Sheena Metal everywhere. That's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Go and find me, and I would love to get in touch with you and stay in touch with you. I'm the person like you can text me at 3 a.m. and say, Sheena, I'm falling apart and I don't know why I'm here. And I'll text you back and say, it's okay, baby. You're here for a reason. So I always have your back if you need somebody like that. And right now, I want to give somebody a message from Spirit. Hi.
Hi, Sheena.
How are you?
I'm Nicole. I'm good. I'm Nicole. I'm from Athens, Georgia.
Beautiful. The hub of all that great music in the 90s. What a fun place to be from.
Right?
Um,
Right, exactly.
what's on your mind, sweetie? What question do you have for me?
Okay. My question is surrounded with love. Um,
Okay.
I had a connection with a man 3 years ago, and I ran from him.
Oh,
I wasn't quite ready.
okay.
Um, I had some healing to do, but
Okay.
he led
Good.
me to that healing, and I always said that
Beautiful.
if he was meant for me, he would return. He came back to me last March of 2022,
Okay.
and over the past year and a half, we have been being friends and trying to get to know each other again and reconnect. And I know he's also healing as well. And I'm just wondering, do you see the connection getting closer to union? Because he's like my best friend. And even it's so funny because the day that he actually came through for me was it was the worst day of my life. I had a procedure. I had surgery done, and he texted me, and I was just wondering if like my grandmother or grandfather had something to do with pushing us together.
Oh, absolutely. And spirit, right? You guys very much have a
Right.
twin flame relationship, and it's very
I
normal in a
felt
twin
that.
flame relationship for one twin to be like, "I'm out of here," and run away. And
Yes, and
sometimes
I
they
always
stay
thought
away.
that I was the chaser, and then I was the one that
No,
ran.
no, you were the runner. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's so funny because if you go on a lot of these twin flame sites, they always talk about the chaser as the divine feminine and the runner as the divine masculine. No, that's not.
Total
No.
opposite for
First of
us.
all, first of all, we're all a mixture of divine feminine and divine masculine. And secondly, women
Right.
run too. It's not just men that run.
Right.
You just couldn't. It wasn't time for you. It was too much, too intense, too forever, and you weren't
Yes.
ready for
I
any of that. And it's good you didn't do
My
that.
self-confidence wasn't there. I knew I needed to
Right.
work on that and my worth.
And it's wonderful that you didn't do that in your healing state, because you wouldn't have been ready, and there would have been so many problems in the relationship. So I definitely see a long-term union, but I also see that you both have to go really slow, and he loves you as a friend, but he's having a hard time trusting you past that you're not just going to one day runaway bride on him again and disappear. You know what I mean? So you just need to be there for
Yes.
him,
Yes.
be in his life, be his friend, love him, and let the trust, trust is like repairing nerve damage. Let all the little trust nerves come back together and get solidified, um, so that he feels comfortable with the fact that he's not going to wake up one day and be ghosted, and
Right.
then he will feel more trust to give you more of his heart in a romantic sense. But I think he knows, as you know, that spirit has sort of ordained this thing, and it's just happening.
Yeah,
um
like, when we were separated, he was like, "I couldn't get you off my mind, I couldn't get." He also thought of my son. He's like, You were on my mind all the time."
sure.
And which is why, like, the worst day of my life last year during that procedure, because I was so sick afterwards, he was like, "I wanted to reach out." So,
Right, right. I know. And it was hard to leave him because you two were very connected.
yeah.
And but it wasn't the right time, and that happens. And a lot of times with twin flames, and it's just because of the lessons for growth. People always say, why does spirit do this? I'm like, I don't have all the answers. Spirit doesn't tell me everything, except it's for growth, it's for growth, it's for growth. um
Right.
Very
And I
oftentimes it's
knew
right
that. I
right
felt
person,
that
wrong
in me
time.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
twin flames a lot. Right person, wrong time. So now
Mhm.
the right time is coming, but you have to not push and not rush and not try to now. Don't chase. Don't now be the chaser.
Yeah.
Just let it evolve. Let it evolve and let it happen. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you,
And
Sheena.
you take care of you. Thank you for the wonderful call.
Thank you. Appreciate you so much. Love you.
My pleasure. Love you too, sweetheart. I just want to tell every single person I love them afterwards. Can that become a new thing? I'm going to ask my engineer and producer Emery, who I could not live without. Emery, I could not live without you. My producer Adam, who created the beautiful intro and the ending, has helped me so much. I could not live without you. And of course, the beautiful executive producer of this show and the head and creator and president of the Intuitive Network, Michael. What would I do without you, my three musketeers? The world's a better place because you're all in it. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so does Spirit, because Spirit gets to use me every week to put these messages through. And I've got one for somebody right now. Hi.
Hi, Sheena. I'm Erin. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hi, Erin.
Hi. I have a question about kind of about my relationship with my boyfriend Justin.
Okay.
We talk about being soulmates, and he and I talk about past lives, and he's not real convinced about reincarnation and things like that. So he's kind of skeptical. So I'm just wondering if you see any kind of a past life where we were together, and
you guys are soul family. You've been together. This is the thing that's interesting, and you might want to bring this up with him, Erin. If he believes that you're soulmates, how come he doesn't believe in reincarnation? Because isn't the definition of a soulmate that you are mates when you're home, right? What people call heaven and I call home. And then you come down here and you play out different scenarios again and again on the earth. So if he didn't believe in that, then you would be life mates, but not really soulmates. So kind of give him the definition of what soulmate means. And a life mate is terrific. Some people decide just to be with their life mates forever, but it's very much a this incarnation thing. But it's okay. You're allowed to wind up with soulmate, life mate, twin flame, whatever you want. But you guys have a beautiful soulmate relationship. And you've had at least five lives I can see right now, and Spirit's giving me 5 more that they're not showing me. And you've been around and around this rock a lot of times. And that's part of the reason why you have such a great connection now. And also be thankful that you have a person, especially a guy, that will talk to you about this kind of stuff and acknowledge it. Because so many times there's a super in-depth spiritual person in a relationship, and then the other one is like, "Wow, it's a bunch of crap. I don't know about that." And it hurts our souls, right? Because all we want to do is share our souls and our spirituality with somebody. And then somebody's just like, "Well, I don't know if that's true." So I think it's really important that you have this person that has done this soul searching, and that is willing to talk to you about it and have these kinds of conversations. Because you know how many times clients say to me, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, whatever it is, just will not have these conversations with me, and how sad they are. So I think you lucked out with this guy, and I feel very good about it. I feel very good for both of you. I think he just needs to know that embracing the woo-woo is not in any way negating his practicality or his love of science or his belief in what's on the earth. It's just adding to that. It's not taking away from that. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And then it's not going to get crazy. Like one minute he believes in reincarnation, then the next minute, he thinks, then you're going to say we have alien DNA, or, my dad's a fairy, or, you know what I mean? It's not going to go way over the deep end into crazy, metaphysical conspiracy theories. Because I think he just feels like he's going to lose touch with reality if he goes too far into the foofy la la land.
Right.
So just approach it as a practical thing. The whole way the universe works with your soul family, coming here with your soul family, the way it works with reincarnation, to me, it's very logical and very scientific. And when I think about spirit, to me, spirit just oozes science. We're just not evolved enough to figure out yet how spirituality is science, but spirituality is absolutely science. So I think if you pose it to him like that, so he doesn't think it's getting so crazy, I think it'll be easier for him. And I understand, because sometimes people come to me with stuff that I'm like, what? So even if later I find out it's true, because I too don't want to lose my grip on reality and the things I like about the earthbound plane that are constants. I think you just explain that to him, everything will be okay.
Okay.
But I love him for you, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks,
And
Sheena.
how about that? Just like that, we delivered messages from spirit to all these wonderful people. And we learned that it's great to expand your gifts, that you don't have to be scared, that every day, like with Tammy and with Christina, you not Christina, with Tammy and with Lauren, you can use your gifts in your profession. And that also with Christina and with Summer, opening up to your gifts can be scary. It can be a lot. It can be overwhelming, but it's okay if you come to grips with your empathy and if you protect yourself. I have a great workshop for empaths. It's called Why Do I Feel Everything? And you can find it at sheenametalspiritual.com. It might be something to think about, because I think empaths can really benefit from that. Also, we learned today to choose you, right? Jenny's trusting herself in this move. Tammy is trusting herself that becoming a therapist was the right thing. And so is Lauren. Trusting that it's okay that you're in a place you might not feel comfortable in, because things are going to get better. Trusting, like with Christina, like the right person is going to come into your life and be right for you. It's all a part of choosing you. And that's what we're talking about today, that how important it is that you choose you, and that you believe in you, and that you have your own back, and that you are your own best friend. And that self-love is the absolute opposite of selfish. And that it's okay to put you first. Because if you don't put you first, how are you supposed to work to make the world a better place? And everybody that we had on today, every single person we had on today, they're all interested in making the world a better place. They're all interested in being people of service and in using their own personal passions to help others and to be in service. And that's the most beautiful thing there is. Every day I live in service. I'm on call all the time, whenever somebody needs me. Every day I live my passion, because my true passion is service. People say, do you sleep? Do you have a life? Do you see? I see people. I have a life full of love. I have a wonderful furry child. I have 2 beautiful homes that I love. I drive by the beach every single night and thank spirit that I live here. I have hobbies. I have friends. I do things. I watch a lot of fun binge TV. I got a lot going on. You can live your life in service and still be able to have a human life, because that's what spirit wants for us. Spirit doesn't want for us to not have a human life. Spirit wants for us to have a great life and rock it and enjoy everything, but also be somebody who's in service. So find out what your passion is. Find out what your service is, and then live it. I'm Sheena Metal. I'm a psychic, medium, intuitive, empath, energetic healer. I'm an interfaith minister. I've been a talk radio host and a television host in Los Angeles for over 30 years. And every day I receive messages from spirit. And on this show, I share them with you. If you want to be a guest on the show, 818-437-0886. Or if you want to know about booking a private session with me or anything, visit my website too, sheenametalspiritual.com, and find me on social media at Sheena Metal everywhere. Until I see you next time, seek peace, live in love, lead with kindness, embrace unity, always work to raise your vibration, and most importantly, know that you are love and you are loved, and you're loved by me. I love you all. See you next Wednesday. at 2 o'clock Pacific time only on the Intuitive Network. Namaste. Take care of you. Choose you.